Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us for this month's Parent Cafe. I am so excited that you decided to log on, and we have such a great treat for y'all today. In honor of Men's Mental Health Month, we have Mr. Stevens here with us. Mr. Stevens is a native of Augusta, Georgia, and has worked with the myriad of at-risk populations over the past 30 years. Most significant is his passion for serving families with the access and visitation program throughout the CSRA. He has worked as a therapist for many years, serving a diverse population, including the Augusta and Columbia County drug courts, conducting and providing individual therapy with the participants. Mr. Stevens has been a mobile crisis therapist that's provided emergency interventions to clients with various issues. He has been a clinical administrator over the years in the area of substance abuse and addiction. He provides certifications for trainings, leadership over programs that have made a major impact on the community. He was the clinical director of Core Health Services in Phoenix, Arizona, where he supervised treatment of Native American patients dealing with substance addictions. He also worked as the deputy director of the Southeast Addiction Technology Transfer Center of Morehouse College School of Medicine through the SAMHSA-sponsored grant. He has served people in Georgia, North Carolina, and Alabama. Mr. Stevens is very happy to be the clinical director of Diamonds of Success to continue to make an impact on the community with changing the lives of children and families within the CSRA. So listen, with no further ado, we have Mr. Stevens here to tell y'all a little bit more about Diamonds of Success. We're so happy to have you today, Mr. Stevens.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here, and thank you for acknowledging Men's Mental Health Month. That's a very critical topic because most of our men, they are pretending to be something on the outside and hurting on the inside. So I want to encourage all men for this month. Seek somebody to talk to. Just talk to somebody, anybody. But I prefer this for you to seek counseling. Most of us need counseling because we deal with all kind of issues that we don't want to talk about to anybody else.
Right.
You know. And Diamonds of Success, I actually volunteer as the clinical director for this program because I'm passionate about it. We serve non-custodial parents and their children. Primarily, non-custodial parents are normally men, but they can be women. We collaborate with the court system to help them get visitation with their children.
Okay.
You know? And I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, and I'm really passionate about this program because I always tell people that the Amber Alerts go off. I think might have been a month ago. I might have mentioned this before some time ago. Majority of the time when the Amber Alert goes off, it's normally, just hypothetically, it's normally you see like probably a 27-year-old male driving a pickup truck or any kind of vehicle with a child. You know, he's heading down I-20 west. You know, look out for him. Normally what happens is the non-custodial parent, which are the men, normally don't understand the law. And I will jump right into it. If you are not married in the state of Georgia, you don't have any rights to your child as a non-custodial parent, primarily the male. You know, but the problem comes up with it doesn't seem right. It's not fair. It's not right. It's okay. It's not right. It's not fair, but make it right. You know, most times our emotions consume us, and what normally happens is the mother will say, "Okay, well, you can pick up your child on Friday. Okay, cool, and you can bring him back on Sunday. Okay, Saturday, the non-custodial parent, which is the male, gets the phone call. Bring my child back. I got to go somewhere." He said, "No, you said I can have my child until Sunday." And they don't bring the child back and they take off with the child. That is an automatic felony charge of kidnapping. So jumping into it, understanding how the system works, and we're not lawyers at all. We're not pretending to be lawyers. We work with lawyers in the court system to help us with this issue. You know, and jumping around again, I will say always take a lawyer when you step in court. Never go into any courtroom without a lawyer if you can afford it.
Okay.
You know, that's the reason we exist, because most people can afford services. So we refer them out to lawyers that work with our program at low cost. You know, we give them information on legitimation, and that's a key thing that the key concept that we deal with the legitimation process, because that's the overall thing that helps the visitation. That's actually the legal process that streamlines visitation. And I always tell people that my nickname is Drama, because with this process dealing with a mother and father and a child, that is really, really steep drama. You know, you got issues with the mother, the father, and the child. And most of the time is we offer mediation services to try to mend the fence, to try to get them to sit at the table and talk to each other and try to do a visitation plan. You know, that visitation plan is a legal binding document that assist them with seeing the kids. Locally, we try to be sure that we offer visitation plan A, which is first, third, and fifth weekends, from 6 on Friday to 6 on Sunday. That's a legal binding thing that we offer with them, as far as they submit to the court system. They fill it out, we mediate, and they fill it out, and we guide them through the process of walking through the court system to file it. So that will be, you know, the visitation and the visitation rights. Now, the legitimation issue is so important because In some of my history, I worked at the Department of Family and Children Services,
Okay.
and unfortunately, that I removed children's from homes. Not something I'm proud of doing in the past, but it happens.
Right.
And the first thing that we do when we remove a child years ago is who's the father.
Mm-hmm.
And the next question is the father legitimated? And of course, it gets so confusing because they often say yes, and they don't understand the language. Well, I signed a birth certificate. So okay, well that doesn't mean you're legitimated.
Right.
So then we have to put the child in foster care instead of putting the child with the father, because so you go get legitimated, educate, call a lawyer, get legitimated, and we'll consider placing the child with you. So it's so many legal binding things that goes on legitimation. Also, if something happens to that father, that child is entitled to receive the benefits
Right.
of the father. But if they're not legitimated, the court decides. So we help facilitate the process is what we do. And the key component is we try to be sure that we involve both parents for the sake of that child.
Okay.
And I tell people all the time, being Men's Mental Health Month, I kind of look at parenting. I am tired of going to balloon releases. I'm sick of it. We good at planning balloon releases because our kids are getting killed in the street.
Right.
But it all goes back to parenting.
Parenting. Absolutely.
And we try to infringe on our parents, especially our male parents, to be mentors, to their kids, because we need that.
Right.
And that's why this is such a passion of mine, because we're trying to gel the family together to ensure for the best interest of the child. And I think, and I'm jumping around. Did I could you have any questions or anything?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying getting the pieces of the information that you're sharing, because it is so important, because a lot of the times men think just because they sign that birth certificate or they're paying child support that they automatically have the same type of rights. And then you do hear that argument, well, it's not right. If I'm paying child support, if I'm doing this, why don't I have you got to take that up with the state of Georgia. Like figuratively, like you have to take that up with the state and get legitimized and do the paperwork. And it is going to cost you something to get, but do you want your is the cost really what weighs more? You having this beautiful relationship with your child, or the money that you're going to spend to do the process, because you was going to spend money regardless.
I like that because and one thing I forgot to mention is that we have a parenting seminar. What do we do?
Okay.
Normally we try to once a quarter, and we normally try to require it if everybody goes through our program. Reason being because we try to, especially our men, that's who primarily we work with, the attitudes. This is a touchy subject because you're paying money, and most of the time that the mother, so the parent, has a right to deny you access if you're not legitimated. So if she says you can't have the child, just cooperate. And second of all, I always tell, I hate to say this, do not curse your child's mother out. I hate to say that, and I hope I'm not inappropriate.
No, you're
not. Don't ever do that. Because that's going to lead to nothing good. For the person that's on child support paying, which is normally God or the child, because that's going to create turmoil and distance. And I always tell people, we're not a program that you come to get back at the mom,
right?
Or to do anything other than what we're here to do. And sometimes that frustrates us, because sometimes, she put more child support, so I came to y'all because I'm gonna get her back. We don't do that, and we educate them on that notion. And because I always tell people, I as a clinical director, I meet with the staff and I talk to them about, okay, well, this person's coming in and they're trying to get custody. I'm like, the only reason they're trying to get custody because they don't want to pay the money. And I always tell people, no matter how much money, unless you P. Diddy or somebody, no matter how much money, I hate to say that, I didn't mean to say that, but how much, no matter how much money you're paying for child support, it's still not enough. It's not enough, And the money not going to the child. You got a 3-year-old child. You think you can put $500 in a child's hand? No, that money goes to that household. The money goes to that child has to breathe. It's hot. Has to breathe cool air in the summertime.
Right.
Has to breathe warm air in the wintertime. Right. So it goes to the household.
Right.
Doesn't go. That child doesn't get it. So what? The mom gets her nails done. She deserves it. So what kills me is that no, you got to go to child. So we try to educate them that hey. Now that money goes to the household, And sometimes our men get this notion in mind, they cannot get it out that I want the child to get, then go to the child. That child is living in that house. You know, I have two little girls, and heaven knows, and they stayed with me for a week. I already give them back. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
I say, look, tell your mom, come get yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
They eating every 2 hours. You know, they growing. I swear they grow every week. You gotta buy
Right.
clothes. I said, I just bought you some shoes
Right.
last week.
Absolutely.
You know, so all of that, you know, no matter how what amount of money you're paying as a non-custodial parent, as the male, it's not enough. And I think we don't understand that as men, you
Yeah.
know, and so that's what we do. We try to educate them on how you're supposed to be with this system.
Right.
Now, the misconception is because they're paying child support, it automatically come with rights. No, child support, they're good people, great people. We love working with child support, the office here locally, and we work other places too in the state of Georgia. But they are just a collection agency.
Right.
It has nothing to do with your visitation, nothing at
Right.
all. That's where we exist. You know, because when they pay the money, they will. We don't get along. I can't see my child. So how am I paying for something all of a sudden now I can't see it? But some people are not seeing the child, but when they get put on child support, now they want to see the child because they're paying money. So we try to educate them on it shouldn't matter. You need to be that father for
You
that
need
child.
to be the father.
You know,
Yeah.
so those are the things we work through with the visitation program. You know,
Okay.
I hope it makes sense. I know I talk fast,
Yeah.
but I'm passionate about it because, like, of course, 98% of our patients are men paying child support. Many times we have young ladies that are non-custodial parents. I always tell people when we see that, there's normally a bigger issue going on. You know, anytime a mother doesn't have her child and she's not custodial parent, it's normally a drug issue or something she's in trouble about with the court. And we work with that system also. I'm not saying it to judge them, but we know before we even get involved, there's something else going on that we got to deal with to help that non-custodial parent was abused.
Right.
So,
Right.
but we're passionate about all our parents. We support our mothers and our fathers, you know,
Okay.
and we support our kids. So we have the dynamics of working with everybody. You know?
Okay.
And we offer supervised visitation. We offer monitor visits.
Okay.
So monitor visit, supervised visitation is another neutral drop-offs where they meet at a neutral place and we supervise that. So we offer that, and all this is legally binding. You know, we collaborate with nonprofit other agencies locally too. We try to refer everybody to counseling because
Okay.
they need it because most of the time their emotions still are taking place and it still are inhibiting them for having a relationship with a child as far as the mother and the father, you know, and 9 times out of 12 times, and 9 times out of 100 times, one part has moved on and the other party hasn't, and they create turmoil.
Right.
You know, and it can be if they have violence in the background, if they have a restraining order, we cannot serve them with that. That's in our grant that we have. We cannot serve them if they have any type of violence in their background.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Domestic issues going on, which is many people.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
So we screen them properly like that, and we get primarily our referrals from local child support office here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And I see an important thing that you spoke on is for one is our our fathers being mentors
Yes.
for the kids within the community, because like you said, we can put together a good balloon release or once something happened to our babies, you got these GoFundMe's popping up and things of that nature. So it's very important for a father to have that relationship with their child, because regardless of whatever, we're still family. We're still family. And even if we can be at odds, we can be at odds. I mean, it's life. We're both human. We're both grown. We're not going to agree on everything. But when it comes to our child, we need to present as a unit. So let those men step in, especially if they are doing the right things and they are taking the right step. Let those men step in and be men, because like you said, Men's Mental Health Month, I know some of that plagues on some men's if they can't be there how they want to be there for their child, that plays on, you know, sometimes on their mental, especially if they have friends that's active fathers and they know that I want to do this, but I can't because of whatever is going on here. And so once they get legitimized and things of that nature, what has been the success rate of if it was a situation that had turmoil in it and now the mom has to follow this paperwork? Has that been, I mean, I know it has to be successful because it's legal, but have you seen?
We've had a pretty good success rate. Actually, why I'm so passionate about this program here, I've been doing this here locally for many years, probably about 20 plus years. I've
Okay.
always been involved with it. We've had a very high success rate in this area because of the expertise we have here. It's probably about 65, 70% actually. It's very high. And we have and I'm not bragging, but we have the best program in Georgia here. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And that our success, our numbers really look really, really great compared to other people's numbers that have the same contract. It's because we're very persistent and we understand the dynamics, and we have people that understand the young ladies. You
Okay.
know, including myself, I understand that it's hard. I don't see how any single mother makes it. I don't. Um, and
3 jobs
yeah, and then
and tired.
yes. So I don't. And I don't. And so compared to understanding, it's almost like peeling the cover off, peeling the banana, and getting to the core of it. They got because they always have been disappointed and have been abused and all this stuff, but they got this hard core.
Right.
And they're scared. So we convey understanding, and sometimes it takes time. It takes
Right.
time. And we support them. It's not just so we just on the men. So we on the righteous side of that child. I want your child to have both parents involved.
Exactly.
And the funny thing of it is, about a month ago, I love it's a National Geographic channel, and they had Arctic penguins. Penguins in the Arctic, and I sat there. I was fixing dinner for myself, and I didn't realize that the mother, they have an egg, and the mother of that egg goes out into the rough, cold waters of the Arctic Ocean and get food. But guess what happens when the egg hatches? The father, while she's gone, sits there with the egg actually before it hatches and takes care of that egg. They switch, they co-parent. And I scratch my head like, wow, if animals can do this.
If they can figure it out.
Yes. And when the egg hatches, they still take part in feeding the child. The child, the child family. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I was so amazed with that. But I always tell it that chemistry has it, environmentally has it. It takes two.
Right.
It takes two. When the chemistry is not right with two people, normally it's not a good outcome, because most times our mothers are great nurturers, that love. And many times we say our male parents come with the firmness, that discipline and structure that a child needs.
Right.
I'm not trying to stereotype it, but many times that's what we see.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's a team effort. And normally it's if both parties on the same page, it's a pretty good outcome with that child.
Okay.
But it's just, I don't know. This is the core. This is why I love doing this. The core of the issues that we have going on in our community is a broken family.
It's the broken family.
Yeah, and that's why this is so important. And we want everybody to take part in the services, but try to mend the fence with your child's mother, your wife, or whoever you have kids with.
Right.
It doesn't have to be that you want to get back with them. It's for the best interest of the child.
Yeah.
So.
We have to do what benefits the child at the beginning, middle, and at the end of the day.
Yes.
Because this is the little person that is going to either reap all the benefits of y'all being on, the same page, or they are going to feel the wrath of y'all not being on the same page. So what do you want for your child?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, what is the end goal for your child? Take your, like you said, a lot of times it be very emotional.
Yes.
Take your emotions out of it. What's the best interest? You grown. However, whatever, it didn't work. It did whatever happens. But now baby is here. Now child is here. So what are you going to do to make sure he or she has the best of both of y'all?
Exactly. And I guess I want to say, I hate to say this, but I just feel we have a serious crisis going on in our community. And I want to say Sunday is Father's Day, is a day of reckoning. I want people to reconcile, not saying get back with them, but reconcile the relationship with that parent for that child. I wish we can all try to do that.
Right.
So that's the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's so important just to see fathers be fathers and men be active in their kids' life is something, and it does, because I have a son. I have a 15-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son, and and me and my husband, when I say something, our son, people like, okay, mom, but when daddy voice come out, it's just like, okay, well, let me move. I got to get the scattering and moving, because it's something about that man. It's something about being that presence. But even if he's not in the home, it's still something different about daddy's presence when daddy come around. And so that's why these boys and these girls need that man, their father in their life, or a good male mentor in their life, because it's different when daddy daddy come around.
Exactly. And you know, I have stuff I've done. I've worked with the prison system in the state of Georgia, and I remember in Albany, I went to check on a guy who was doing a group, and it was 30 guys in there, 30 men in a group in the Albany Transition Center. And I asked him one question. I was like, "Can I interrupt?" He said, "Yeah." I asked them one question about how they feel about themselves.
Mhm.
All of them did not have good self-esteem. They had low self-esteem. Every last one of them. And they admitted they tried to cover it up through material things, trying to get money in the streets, trying to do all this stuff. And that was amazing. And I told them, I said, you know, and they were fathers. And I said, let me tell you, I said, if I can just take you right now and sit you inside of a house with a child, you gotta say nothing. Just sit in the living room. I guarantee it will make a difference.
It'll make
You
a
don't have to
difference.
say nothing. Just be there as your presence.
Right.
Is it really? I said, yes, that's how much you mean as a father. Just be
Yes.
there, you know. And that's what I want to charge everybody for this Sunday. Just be there.
Just be there.
Be there. You don't have to say nothing. Just be there. You know what I mean? I don't care what's going on with your the mother or whatever. Just be there.
Right.
Just show up and be there. Don't worry about if she hates you because you cheated or she whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
Just be there.
Just be
Don't
there.
say nothing. Just be there. You know what I mean?
And watch how the dynamic
Yes,
shifts.
exactly.
The atmosphere
Yes,
shifts
that-
because it's daddy.
Yeah, exactly. You bring that energy. You don't have to say nothing. Some people walk in a room, they feel that energy.
Right.
And that's all I want to see. Hopefully, people looking at this video, I hope that this Sunday is Father's Day. I hope and pray that they can reconcile and rekindle their relationship with their children.
Right.
You know, just be there. You know,
Yep.
as a father, just be there. That's
Just
all.
be there.
Don't say nothing. Just be there.
Just be there.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just need to be.
Yes.
I just need to sit in your presence.
Exactly.
Just like
exactly.
our good heavenly Father.
Yes.
Sometimes I just need to sit in your presence.
Exactly.
I need to sit in your presence.
And that's what we're about. We don't just to be there as parents. You know what I mean? So that's what we want to coordinate that. And I feel that I've been working with this program for a while, that I feel we do a pretty good job of it. So,
Yes.
and thanks to you guys supporting everybody, we want to keep going and be sure that we are doing the best thing for our children and families.
Okay, that
Right.
is awesome. And so tell the people, how can they get in contact with you to take advantage of some of these services?
Okay, well, the number is 706 910-2709. That's to the office, and we have a website. And because my mind is so bad, but I think it's on the website.
Yeah, and
right?
Kevin will pop the website up.
I get my old age, my memory. I know we're at 1285 Marks Church Road, Suite B. I always look at right behind Chuck E. Cheese. You know? Go right behind Chuck E. Cheese. You will find our office down there, right on the same side of Chuck E. Cheese. So that's 1285 Marks Church Road. Suite B. The phone is open all the time, so please call the number 706-910-2709. That phone is answered all the time. So just if you need just some information or just got an issue you want to talk about that's dealing with visitation, please call. If you need some counseling, we can refer you out to our collaborative partners. We don't offer, especially, this program is so intense that it takes up a lot of our time.
Right.
So we do individual education. It's almost like counseling. It's meeting with each person individually, educating them on how visitation works and how the system works with them.
Okay.
And we listen to their problems.
Right.
But as far as intense counseling, we have partners that we refer people out to.
Okay.
So, but that's what we do. I think that's the main thing. Look at our website, call us, email us. We have all the communication tools in place. We'd be happy to serve anybody. So, and happy to provide information. So thank you for your time here. If you have any more questions before we get dismissed, you can ask them if you need any more questions.
All right. And then if, just pop them in the chat box if y'all do have questions, and we can get them to Mr. Stevens, and he can, we'll be able to provide answers. But again, thank you for coming. Thank you for taking the time out to come here and to share about Diamonds of Success. Thank you to everybody who has tuned in today. I hope y'all have learned some information. And even if it doesn't apply to you, pass it on. Some men in your life that may be in one of these spaces of wanting to have a better relationship with their kids, but they just don't know how. Now that you have the information to pass along to them so they can get that help that they need. Again, this Sunday is Father's Day. Listen, just show up and be a presence. This month is Men's Mental Health Month. Listen, tell a man this month how much you appreciate them. So when you see a man, give them one good positive affirmation to make them smile, to make them know that they're needed, to make them know that they are the pillars in the community and their presence is needed. Their presence means something. Their presence has the ability to shift and change atmospheres, okay? Men, you are needed. Men, you are appreciated. Men, you are loved. Men, you are the pillars and the backbones and the heads of our households, okay? Listen, I love y'all. Continue to be blessed. Continue to tune in once a month, every third Thursday for our Parent Cafe. And we will see you next time.